Hello and welcome to a brand new episode 117. We are live, we are back, we are trying something new.
In person.
In person,
This
first
is
time.
weird.
Guys, this isn't AI, not a green screen. I'm actually here. And I'm your host, Jason. I'm joined by AF. I'm in his neck of the woods. AF, how's it going, bro?
No, I'm doing great, bro. It's weird to look at you.
It really does feel, bro. There's
some.
some eye contact that I'm
Like-
not too
like-
comfortable with, but we will get there.
We will. We learn as we go, man.
Yeah, we had mentioned previously that we are trying, in efforts to make a better product for you, we are trying new things. So please bear with us. It might seem a bit strange, I think, to see us in this format. But guys, please don't be alarmed. Put the comments in there, put the questions in there. If you want me to do something, yeah, look, Ramiz, don't call the police, my friend. I am the police. That's why I'm here. There's been a noise complaint. Okay. So yeah, you say you've been good. What inspired this little setup that we got going?
I don't know, man. Like we have to find ways to evolve, bro.
Sure.
At the end of the day, like we can't just be chilling behind the screen all the time. We have
Nah,
to.
fair play. Fair play.
Like one of my buddies like told me, he was just like, nah, it's giving me COVID vibes. Like
He's
you
not
guys
lying.
need to-
He's not lying. We live like 2 minutes from each other, but we're always doing. I think what's Austin saying? Get closer, Austin. Please, man, look here. This is as close as we'll be. There's a little space, and I'm gonna say it's the space from second to, I can't even see United on the table here on the screen that AF's got, to 16th. So this is 14 places. Okay, in between. But also a shout out to Ange. Spurs, look, this is what happens, right? You have to change the tactics. If it's not working for you or you need to improve something, you switch it up. You just change it up. So yeah, that's what we're doing. We've got a jam-packed episode. We are waiting for somebody else, a surprise entrant. Not like the one episode where I just jumped in. We're actually waiting for Ziyaad. As the description says, we are 2 gunners and 1 mank. So I guess we can just get started then, isn't it?
I think I'm liking this sort of odds a bit better.
1v1.
Yeah, 1v1. I think I can hold my own 1v1s when I'm outnumbered.
Well, then,
Tends
yeah.
to get a bit messy. It tends to get a bit nervy for me. You know,
Nah,
like,
that's fair.
I
That's fair.
sort of cave into the Fergie time there, or the inverse of Fergie time. What would that be? I don't know, something Spurs related probably.
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah.
Shout out Riaz if
Yeah.
you are watching.
You better
But
be
yeah,
watching.
let's just get stuck in. We had a very big week for, I think, both of our clubs. We
Yeah.
discussed a bit about Arsenal last week, and we were thinking they could do something against PSG. They obviously didn't. The lovely club from Manchester did do something on Thursday night. What was the emotions going into that game? And yeah, are you excited about the final that's coming?
The emotions were great. The first half an hour wasn't
Yeah.
really that great. But it's like we can never enjoy things, man.
Yeah.
We have to sort of work for everything that we end up having.
Yeah.
And at the end of it all, I mean, that was probably Mason Mount's
Yeah.
best performance for Man United thus far. I think that was sort of the correct turn for him, the start of a resurgence for him, because we know the talent that he has. We know that he is a really good player. He was really good at Chelsea. Austin in the chat said last week about how sad he was that he went to Man United.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it was a very dominant display after that first hour or so, and yeah, I'm happy that we're in the final. I don't like our chances because, like Ruben said, and I don't know why he said that out loud, but now I guess I'll just repeat it. They haven't won Spurs yet this season. 3 games, 3 losses, and the 4th one has to be a win. So I don't know if he jinxed himself here.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Maybe he's been watching the show. Maybe he's following Riaz, and that reverse psychology element works. He's obviously owning up to the fact that you guys haven't been successful against them. But really good to see Mason Mount. I think I've always liked him just from a technical point. Like, I think he was really good, and I think he fit the Chelsea system, and I think he just got phased out a bit there. So would love to see him kick on. I think it would be a great asset to to actually get going for Man United, especially with the current midfield crisis there. You just want to check there. We can pull up some comments there. I think we got a few. Got a few as it stands. Who needs to win more, Ange or Amorim? Look, so Ange always wins something in his second season.
Yeah.
So he's got that. It's that juju versus just Man United juju in general and the spirit of Fergie, I suppose.
I don't think that if Spurs lose that final, I think everybody just moves on and carries on with their day. I don't think it's going to be a big thing. If Ruben loses that final and doesn't have Champions League next season, the media is going to start hounding United.
Yeah.
It's going to be relentless. Players are suddenly going to not want to choose them. I saw Liam Delap says that he won't come to United unless they have Champions League. Like, bro, you just got relegated.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you can really choose if you like the club that you're going to is going to have Champions League or not. But I think there's a lot more on the line for Amorim than there is for Ange.
Yeah, look, if we're looking back at previous managers, there's been some sort of success that sort of papered over the crack at Man United. So I think either way, whichever team loses, and I didn't tell my dad to put that comment in there, but shout out, because looking at this log, right, and looking at Man United and Spurs this season, whichever one loses, they're still either going to be stuck 16th or 17th with no trophy to show. And if it weren't for a poor 3 teams that were relegated, we would have been in for an all-time classic in the sense that Man United and Tottenham Hotspur would have been just above relegation or fighting for relegation. So it's a big game, and I don't know how both teams lose, but I think it's going to happen. I'm not sure how. I'm getting this feeling, and maybe it's because I'm a bit of a hater, and I'd love to see the downfall of both of these teams.
If you could choose one, though, I know which way you're leaning.
Yeah,
you kind of have to.
But it's not even. I don't think it's have to because I'm engaged to be married to a Man United fan. I think it's because I don't like Spurs. And I think I can handle the Man United fans more than I think I can take the silly Spurs fans. Riaz, if you are watching, I'm talking about you. Okay, so don't think this is a subtweet. There's no subliminals. I'm talking about you, bro. Okay.
I don't know where Riaz even falls these days.
To be honest,
he likes Arsenal, then he likes Liverpool, then he's watching United over Spurs.
Yeah.
I mean, like.
So actually, I think he also wants Man United to win because I think he wants Ange out. I think that's for sure. But so we have this massive moment for both teams Thursday night last week, right? And then we fast forward to the weekend, and is everybody still hungover?
Yeah.
From winning the semi-final and making the final to not showing up on the Saturday, or what is it, Sunday, right? Sunday. Both teams played at home. Both teams played against decent opposition, but I mean, West Ham, I'd say, are your direct rivals. So
that's decent opposition. Like that West Ham team wasn't really that great.
Okay, well then United were poor.
No, they were poor. Like I'll admit that. I'm not even going to run away from the fact that United were poor.
Just add Ziyaad there.
We have a late run into the box here.
My goodness.
When I saw Jason and you were sitting together, I was
talking about United's loss over the weekend. Now someone jumps in.
Yeah.
I like this guy. I like this guy a lot. How's it going?
No, all good, and you, man?
All good, all good. Is the audio reaching there? And does this ground look familiar? Look, I'm in a studio here. HQ.
I see you guys managed to get together, which is fantastic.
We had
much easier to have a chat that way.
Your invite needed to come with like a plane ticket and
probably
a passport and a visa.
I like what Ramiz is saying. I think he's onto something.
I'd actually like to. If he does come out there, what jersey is he wearing? That's the question. Put your thoughts in the comment. If he comes out with a Brentford jersey, because you honestly never know. Maybe he's a Tom Frank kind of fan,
Thomas Frank's probably going to be the next manager, so
100%.
Yeah.
Which means we'll most likely see Rico Henry playing at left back very soon in the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Isn't Sergio Reguilon still there?
A Spurs player, bring him back. Perfect. It all works out. Ziyaad, we had just started about obviously the Spurs Man United Thursday night game, and then we moved on to the weekend's fixture. And I think it was a case of maybe they had like a parade or something, and then all the guys were a bit hungover come that Sunday.
Man, what are they parading for?
Absolutely nothing. That's what.
And now, man, I don't know with these guys. It's hard to say because some people still say that, maybe their minds on the Europa, so they just mailed it in the league. But I don't know, man. I was telling AF, I think over the weekend, it's kind of been similar levels of performance from them throughout. So
Yeah.
there's
But
not
like,
much to say at
I
this
don't know,
point
man.
in
Like
time, I guess.
you can tell with body language, these guys are they're just there to like run through the motions now, and it's actually quite disgusting to see because a lot of them are on big wages. So I mean, even if you're playing in front of your own home fans, like at least try to play for the badge, play for something. They're like
Yeah, but
they know that they have
that's a culture thing,
yeah.
and
They
that
know that
takes
they have this
like people to.
yeah, they have this possible ticket to something bigger, essentially, and they know that they're probably just going to try to give 110% in that final instead of like going till 9 yards in these last 3 games. And I mean, if Sunday was any indication, this weekend's or Friday night's game against Chelsea is probably going to be more of the same.
Yeah, most likely. But I was thinking of that, right, with Chelsea playing United. It might actually suit United because Chelsea have to play. United don't have to play. So we've seen in the past, probably a couple of months with United, they're much better on the counter attack. So if they can maintain some sort of framework in their performance, Chelsea is available on the counter for them because Chelsea have to play to get into Champions League. For United, it's nothing, and I think that the game will actually suit them way more than it suits what Chelsea needs to do over the weekend. And United, I think, have a great chance of picking up some points.
Yeah. Now I'm looking at some things, right? And I think it's possibly because Man United's confirmed to, I mean, both teams are confirmed to not be relegated. So now that they win and they're into the final, the performance over the weekend is probably just like, okay, guys, we're not going to give everything. And there was a bit of a rotation in both teams, I think. I'm not going to claim that I watched it. But I think the bigger thing to look at is also like we had said, if one of the teams going to win, one of the teams going to lose, and both are going to be on record for having the worst season. So you're looking at things from a financial perspective, and I'd still be trying to play because getting from 16th to 14th alone is a massive jump in terms of what you'd get next season. So I'm looking at some stats here, and I think they're saying that United, as it stands, are only going to earn 14 million from being in 16th position, right? Spurs get 11.3 million. But should they jump, I mean, it's not a massive jump, but say United were to jump Wolves up onto 14th, they'd get like 19.7. That's, I don't know what that means.
I think in the era of PSR, it actually means a lot.
Yeah.
And I mean, with both of them having like possible Champions League money, I think the winning the prize money for Europa League, I think it's about like 30 or just under 30 mil.
Yeah.
So all of that together, it's probably just under 50 mil prize money for the season. And then getting into the Champions League next season, also, I think that there's an extra kitty for that as well.
Okay.
So they're obviously probably going to try to play for all of that. But yeah, man, it's negative thinking. It's backward thinking, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I'm not a fan of it.
Nah, that's fair. Anything else, Ziyaad, from this weekend that might have shocked you in terms of results, in terms of team performance, and just results?
No, I think it's set up quite well for what's to come. I mean, the race for the Champions League spots are heating up. There's a lot of good games left. And I mean, at this point of the season, nothing really a surprise, if I'm going to be honest, because we've seen that this season in the Premier League, outside of Liverpool, maybe teams, the rest of the league, it was win, you could lose on any given day. No team had the level of consistency that Liverpool had. So, on any given day, you could find a team win or you can find a team lose. and that kind of just has been the theme of the season for me, where Liverpool have just been a mile ahead. So, I mean, if you don't talk about surprises, I was surprised that the Arsenal were able to come back and draw that game. But other than that, I think we got a good couple of games to look forward to.
This past weekend it was Southampton versus City, and Southampton literally like had an exhibition on bus walking. Ruben Diaz came out; he was crying in that post-match interview, saying they didn't come to play football, and like they came to shut you guys out. That's what they did, and what they were successful in doing. Like City just couldn't score any goals. You guys have Southampton on final day. Is it a worry for Arsenal? Like, I mean, the points gap over here between second and sixth is 5 points. You guys have Newcastle this weekend, Southampton final day. I think a draw against Southampton would ensure that you guys keep that Champions League spot. But that result over the weekend against City make you guys nervy at all?
Me or Jason, who's taking it?
I'll go. I don't think it does. I didn't like Ruben Diaz's comments because I don't like the idea that teams have to come out and play. If Southampton have an objective, right, and it was to not be tied with the worst points tie ever, and that was Derby. So if they're going to come out and set up defensively, then I don't like the idea that teams have to come play and then make space. And then if your squad is worth 50 mil and all you can do is defend, then do that. If your squad is renowned for attacking and you now know this is our team set up against you, you can't be upset. Like I don't think I didn't enjoy that, and it's not Southampton's. It's not their thing to just like we must just play. Like the onus is on City. City is the better team. So it gave big crybaby energy, and I didn't enjoy it because, bro, like you've had a bad season, and now you want to criticize people that are lost. They've got 11 points now. They have 12, but it was a bit whack, to be honest. But I'm not worried about that. I think the bigger concern is that we've got no players, and we're playing against a Newcastle team that just put Chelsea to the sword, and I think they'll be very much up for it. They've had us twice this season in the league. Or no, not league. That once in the league. They had League Cup as well. So out of the 3 games, they've beaten us thrice, and now it's one that really counts. So let's see how this weekend goes. The problem we have is that when we get put under pressure, we didn't respond well this season. And by the looks of it, Villa and Chelsea could possibly be within 2 points of us come Sunday. And then City play as well. I mean, City play on Tuesday, so it's fine. But there could be 4 teams that are tied on, or 3 teams that are tied on 63 points going into a Newcastle Arsenal game, which that freaks me out a bit.
I mean, Newcastle haven't been good away from home, so that's the only thing that you could say is going in Arsenal's favor to some degree. But it's going to be a tough game. Arsenal have a tough game against Newcastle, and then Southampton, like you said, with City, they're just going to set up and defend. And we've seen Arsenal struggle in games like that in the past, where they struggle to break people down. So it's going to be a bit of a nervy finish, I guess. But I think they'll pull through, even if it's a couple of draws. I don't see them losing. With regards to City, I think they have the easiest run in the back end. I think they have
Bournemouth Tuesday, and then I think they've
followed
got
by
Fulham next week.
So they've got, I mean, on paper, again, it's not that easy, but they do have an easier running than some of the other teams. And I mean, it could go one of 2 ways, right? If they win the FA Cup final, they got their confidence and they build on it. They might want to send KDB off, in a more positive, manner, and give him something to, some momentum with that farewell. And if they lose against Palace, then it could be, I still think that whatever happens in the final, it will spur them on in the league to do well, and I think they'll finish either second or third.
Do you think that Nottingham Forest blew their chance to have that final push for Champions League?
I think it's tough for them, and they had a bit of an unfortunate incident with a striker running into the pole, and I read today that he was put into induced coma to do a procedure or some sort of surgery on him. So yeah, I think the momentum is not with them, unfortunately, at this moment. They did play well against Leicester. I mean, the goal I saw was fantastic goal that Chris Wood scored. You know, the type of early ball into the box. So they do still play well, but I think there's just a bit of jitters when it's within reach that they could be in the Champions League. More pressure comes from ownership, and we saw the owner come onto the field. So there's that extra pressure, and suddenly you go from overachieving to it becoming expectation, and then that does change the mindset. Everyone gets a bit more tense and so on, and I think they'll fall off a little bit, as you get towards the back end. They do have a chance, but I think, like you say, I think the momentum's not with them, and they might miss out, unfortunately.
Like the silver lining is that they do make a European competition next season. So it's either Europa League or Conference League that they'll end up qualifying for, depending on who finishes 6th or 7th. But it's going to come down to final. Then it's going to be quite exciting. Yeah.
You're talking about this weekend pass, but I think a big determinant for their dip in form was Chris Wood's injury when he had first gotten injured recently. Now, suddenly that focal point wasn't there, and they had to rely on a one-year who hadn't played for a long time at all. So to have that injury happen to him now as well probably does knock a bit of the morale. But their fixtures, they've got West Ham coming off a good win against United, and then they end the season at home against Chelsea. So that could be one nice way to basically thank the fans for the good performance and also guarantee European football. Proper guarantee you could actually be doing Thursday night Europa as opposed to Thursday night Conference League where you play against alphabet teams, So there's a big chance there. Obviously very upsetting for them to have been in the position that they were and then suddenly to just regress. But
with Forest, I think for me, obviously Chris Wood isn't 100%, but the fact that he's back in, it does help them because they can score. But we've seen that their defense is what actually got them the points and got them, higher up the table. And if I'm not mistaken, Murillo is the one that's injured. And we've seen that with him being out, it's causing a big problem at the back for them. They're not as solid as they were early on in the season. The only thing is that the matchup with Chelsea could actually be a good one because Jackson is out. So Chelsea don't have any focal point in their attack. Where they're going to probably be relying on, a false nine or some sort, playing someone out of position up front. So it could, like you say, come down to that game. And I think if we're going man for man, Chelsea versus Forest, I almost want to say I feel like Forest has a better chance of scoring goals than Chelsea.
Fair play. But I mean, we now look at that game as being the determined, but we look at Friday's game as well because it's Chelsea Man United first. And I don't know if you want to pivot to that, but I was just thinking, I was talking to somebody over the weekend, we were talking about what sort of team do either Chelsea or Man United start, right? Because are you going to go like exceptionally weak? Or are you going to do like a half and half? What are your thoughts, AF? Like, who would you like to see start and who would you like to see get rested?
So United's Europa League final is next week Wednesday. It's very close to the weekend's games, and I think Chelsea have the final weekend of Premier League, and then the following weekend is the Conference League final, if I'm not mistaken.
Let's see. Let's confirm it quickly.
What's that?
I don't know. It's not even giving a day.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like United United has the Europa League on Wednesday night, so I don't think that they are going to be risking the big game players. I think it will be somebody like Chido Obi starting as striker and maybe just giving Ahmed some more match fitness. But like I said, I don't think that they're going to be taking this game all too seriously. Chelsea is going to be playing like their lives depend on it because obviously they want to make Champions League. So it's going to be interesting to see the different types of contests over there. Chelsea could also eventually just be playing against themselves, like their own mistakes that they could be making because maybe they'll like overthink things. When going up against these United players. But it would also be cool to have like these sort of second-rate or bench players coming on, starting for United that would want to prove that they should be starting in the Europa League final also.
Yeah, we're just looking at Austin's comment. So United tend to be our bogey team. The FA Cup win resulted in us going down to the Conference League last year, and now they can dent our UEFA Champions League hopes. Yeah, I think that we've spoken about United and the form that they show, and they rise up to the bigger games and those big occasions, and I think they sort of elevate themselves to the level of that competition. And then you see a game like West Ham where they just just coasted. I think partly because you won against Bilbao, then you lost against West Ham, it might be sort of a momentum thing. So now you have to get good momentum going to Spurs, because whilst Man United might be Chelsea's bogey team, I think Spurs have been your bogey team recently. So you want to get a good head of steam going into the game. So I think without Bruno this season, and possibly Maguire as well, United are probably in that bottom three. I think his goals have saved you in many games, and
I think you're forgetting about Ahmad's November-December stint there. Like there were a lot of important goals that he scored.
No, fair. Okay, so those three then.
Yeah.
But I think if you wanted to get something positive out of this game, you're gonna have to start them, right? So you had said Ahmad for some minutes to get sharpened and stuff.
Yeah.
Bruno has to play, because otherwise there's nothing. And then Maguire, I can see maybe like a 60, even 55 minutes. Nobody owns him in FPL.
I think
so it's fine. You can take him off before 60 minutes.
What happened with De Ligt is probably playing at the back of Amram's mind, that because it was De Ligt in the Brentford game. And then over the past weekend, it was Ziyaad. So that's two of his main centre-backs that are now out of the Europa League final. I don't think that he's going to want to risk Maguire in this match and then have him, like his entire back three, out for the Europa League final.
No, that's so fair. I mean, he's also your top goal scorer in the Europa League, so
that's also
you want to keep him there. But you have, what's that kid's name? Not Franks. No, not Franks. Fredrickson. Play the kids, man. Play the kids. Let them run free. Let them run wild, and then see what happens. I mean, Chelsea most likely start Enzo as a false nine, or they go Pedro Neto just for the pace. And I think Chelsea at the moment, they seem very gettable. I think you could possibly, if there's some sort of physicality, then I think that midfield could possibly sort of falter. I don't know. I mean, they did play against Newcastle. It is a very physical game, that game always. But I think there's both merit and there's possibly there's pros and cons to both teams to go into this game with some sort of momentum. You know, Chelsea to lock in maybe Champions League certain, and then you guys just to get that extra 5 mil if you finish higher than Wolves. So that's always important. But then speaking about Spurs, I mean, we're not really speaking about them, but let's just talk about it. Otherwise, Riaz is going to leave the stream. They've got Aston Villa. Big game as well. I think Villa won over the weekend, right? They beat... I think they beat... Let me just confirm this quickly before the Villa fans come for me like they did on the prom walk. What did Villa do? Did they even play this weekend? Yes,
There you go. Bournemouth 1-0.
Villa beat Bournemouth 1-0. Spurs obviously losing at home against Crystal Palace, so that's great momentum for Crystal Palace. Ziyaad, what are we thinking about Spurs' chances? Where's their mind at this weekend coming into the game? Like, they're not going to push to try and jump you guys, so is it just to try and get Son maybe back into form?
Nah, bro, I don't think they play anyone close to the first 11. I think they keep them all rested and keep them for the final. And I think United are going to do the same thing. Amarim showed in the games before, he rotated, he played all the backup players and stuff. So I think Spurs do the same thing, and easy Villa win, to be honest. It's funny because Villa play both Spurs and United in their last two games. And I think Villa are going to win both and probably sneak into the Champions League spots because they have all the momentum. They've been playing well, and besides just playing well, I think they've also managed to get over the line when they needed to. You know what I mean? So they're finding a way to win, even though, you know, maybe they don't dominate the whole game, whatever the case is. So I think, Spurs are going to rotate. They're going to be focused on the Europa League final. It's make or break. Essentially, like, as you guys were speaking, I was thinking that we have the richest game in world football coming up. I think it's on the 24th, where it's Sheffield and Sunderland to get promotion to the Premier League. This game might actually be the second. It might be such a big shift financially because going from playing in the Champions League to not playing in the Champions League, plus the league position. Obviously, you spoke about financially who you can keep, who you're going to lose, etc. It's going to be a massive, massive game. So I don't think Spurs are going to risk anything. They're going to keep their better players out, and it doesn't matter if they win or lose this game in the league. So why risk anyone from picking up a knock, especially against a team who have everything to play for? So yeah, I don't think Spurs put anyone out there to risk anything, and Villa will be easily.
Yeah, I think Villa also to cap what has been a very good season for them. I mean, to qualify proper through the new Champions League format, to push PSG almost all the way, make what is it? Was it semi-finals of FA Cup as well, right? Lost against Crystal Palace. Yeah, it's like 3-0 loss. Okay, that was probably the little glitch. But also then to possibly secure Champions League again for another season. The club is obviously going in a very good trajectory under Unai Emery, and they've signed very good players. So maybe securing Champions League again either confirms that they keep those guys. Maybe they're able to bring in some more want-away stars. I don't know. Maybe Sancho ends up at Villa next season. Who knows? That's that's like the journeyman. So yeah, I think I'd have to agree. I think Villa definitely probably chop up Spurs. But then again, Spurs will just turn up and they'll win like 1-0, right? I I don't even know who they have, like Starlet playing up front or Scarlet, whatever the guy's name is, and then play Kulusevski central midfield and Yves Bissouma right back. And yeah, it just works, and somehow it works out.
Ball, man.
Ange Ball, like throw everybody in, let them pull names out of a hat, and what you draw is where you play. So don't be surprised if you see Vicario playing left mid. But yeah, I think those are the two key games, right? Looking at it, besides possibly moving to the Sunday fixture, which we will talk about now. Newcastle, Arsenal, big game. Massive momentum shift, I think, Newcastle in recent weeks, where we thought they were almost out of the top four, to just string a few games together, string a few results, to now be third. And possibly come the end of this weekend could be, 2 points behind us, if I'm not mistaken, or actually could be ahead of us or something like that. So, yeah, they could be 1 point ahead of us going into the last game week, and that's obviously excluding City, who could be tied with us. Ziyaad, what team do we play? We've got no Mikel Merino. We've got no recognized striker, no second choice striker. We are running on fumes. I think Arteta might finally get his dream right and play 4 left backs at one time.
Man, I think it's really obvious, man. He just goes with the same guys. If Merino is out, then the only other option is to throw one of those left backs into midfield, which is where we're at the moment, or a guy like Ben White maybe. But other than that, I think the front line's Martinelli, Trossard, Saka. It's pretty simple. Maybe throw Nwaneri in the midfield, but then you lose. Actually, it might not actually be too bad with Nwaneri, Odegaard, and Thomas Partey in the midfield. We could go with something like that. But I think Newcastle's midfield is quite good. They got some good guys in it. Bruno, Joe Linton. Can't get to this guy. Is it Elliot Anderson?
Yeah.
No. Elliot Anderson is at Knox, but it's actually Sandro Tonali. Sandro Tonali has been very good.
Sandro Tonali. So Elliot Anderson was there, right? They sold him.
He was there, but he went to Nottingham Forest.
Why do I think Elliot Anderson and Newcastle? I don't know. Anyway, got that confused. But yeah, Sandro Tonali, right? Bruno, Joe Linton. What's it? Longstaff fellow, right? They got a lot of bodies in midfield, and obviously out wide they got pace. So it'll be a tough game. Not too confident in getting a win. The only thing I can think of is Newcastle haven't been great away. And so for me, it has a draw written all over it, I feel. And that's enough, I guess.
But I mean, after Chelsea went down to 10 men over the weekend, you wouldn't even say that if you were watching the game, because Chelsea just kept on pressing, and Newcastle looked shell-shocked at like for a moment or for a long period of the match. It just seemed like they didn't know what to do with all of Chelsea's pressing, and it was weird because Chelsea were down a man, and it was very unlike Newcastle to sort of cave in. And Chelsea had all the chances to win the game at the end. Unfortunately, they like for them they didn't. But
Didn't have a striker.
also
Look, I
Striker
think
was
what
central.
you're seeing at this point of the season, everyone's gassed. Like I mean, most teams are gassed, especially
yeah,
if you've played the majority of the games for your club this season. A lot of people are tired. So you see that in the games, man. The qualities are a little bit lower. If guys just switch off, maybe the concentration drops because of the fatigue. And I mean, I guess you saw that. And with Chelsea, they've managed to rotate the guys quite a bit, so they've managed to stay fresh. So
Yeah.
they're able to maybe deal with that a bit better than Newcastle, who rode a bit of an injury situation where their guys. You have Isak who's not 100% fit. They've had guys, be playing at about. I'm sure pretty much everyone's playing at 85 to 90% now. Plus whatever
Yeah.
knocks they've picked up. I think Kieran Trippier was also a bit banged up. A couple of other guys were doubtful for
Yeah.
games. So and then when you are not winning or you just one goal ahead, you can't make the changes you want to make to maybe give guys a breather so they stay out longer than you want them to. And I think that's what we're seeing a lot, in the league at the moment, especially with everything to play for with teams like Chelsea, Arsenal, Newcastle, Villa. Like if you take Villa, for example, when last have we spoken about Marco Asensio? He played really well for a period, but it's almost like he's not like I haven't heard his name come up in anything. Whereas like Morgan Rogers has been flying, and Ollie Watkins actually doing quite well. And if you really think about it, Watkins had an injury earlier in the season, so he kind of did get
Yeah.
some rest. Even though some
Yeah.
might say being injured isn't rest, but you do get rest. And you know maybe have a bit more in the tank.
Now that's fair. Yeah, I think teams are feeling the effects of this extended season, this long, long season. But yeah, I think we possibly, if not Waneri, because I saw some stats about the sort of minutes that he's played this season, and it's been quite a bit for like a 17-year-old, right? And in terms of load management, and maybe Ziyaad can give a bit more expert opinion, as the buyer out of the three of us here. But yeah, I think possibly what I would like to see would actually be to have Miles Lewis-Skelly play in the midfield, because that is his preferred position.
Yeah.
Play one of the 17 left backs that's on the bench, not Zinchenko. So one of the 16 left backs that's on the bench minus Zinchenko. And then, yeah, actually maybe just give Kieran Tierney his like final send.
Yeah, I
I think we
mean,
go away
if
to
you were going to
Southampton.
play one of them, I'd go with Kieran Tierney on the left, better defender.
Yeah.
And then MLS can play in the middle. But he's been hesitant to do things like that. You've seen he'd much rather play Partey at right back than play a Timber or a White in midfield. So I don't think you'll see too much craziness from from the manager.
Yeah. Look, Yasin. Arteta not playing Sterling. Yeah, man. I think Edu wanted Sterling, and now he's just giving a big, he's just giving a subliminal to Edu, like, this is what you gave me. I'm going to put this guy on the bench. But also, I mean, to be fair, I think Sterling's a confidence player, and we haven't had a run of games where we could play him consistently to sort of get his confidence up. So, yeah, I think I had high hopes. I really thought this guy was going to show me old Raheem Sterling, and I think our deals with Chelsea have been hit and miss. We hit one, then we miss a few, then we maybe hit another. I don't know. It's just maybe we shouldn't shop from that factor. Just because it's cheap doesn't mean it's good quality. Okay?
I don't even think it was the Chelsea aspect. I think it was the fact that like Pep's identified players who he worked with at City when he was assistant over there. He brought Gabriel Jesus over. Now Sterling as well. You never know. There could be more players. You guys might even go for a cheeky KDB bid after he leaves at the end of the season. But I think it's more the whole connection with Man City, the players that he's worked with, players that he probably got along well with over there. That sort of drew them to the club.
Then you must bring back Sergio Aguero. We obviously just striker. Bring me Leroy Sané. Maybe 2 seasons ago, Leroy Sané. But look, it's
Bayern wants to offload him, so maybe you guys can try to go in with another bid now.
Yeah, but also again, I don't like the idea that we're only signing like the proven players. Well, there's logic to it, but
Yeah.
we can't go like 2 seasons later for them. Like if we want proven, we sign them while they're in form, which is easier said than done, obviously. But yeah, I don't think we'll get Sana. I think we're gonna get some up and coming kid again or some exciting talent, which I'm hoping for. But yeah, let's just jump into predictions. So we've spoken about a few games. So let's go back again just to Friday night and we'll just pick on those games. So Aston Villa Spurs, Ziyaad, draw a line in the sand there, give us a prediction.
It's Villa Spurs, right?
Villa Spurs, yes, correct.
3-1 Villa.
3-1 Villa. AF?
I think I'm going with a 2-0 Villa.
2-0 Villa.
Yeah.
Okay. I think Spurs are going to get something. Yeah, I think I'm going to go 2-1 Villa. I think Villa, whilst they've been winning, they haven't been scoring a lot. So as much as they're up for it, I think, yeah, I think it's going to be 2-1 Spurs. I'll take Nunes and then I'll send him to Mars and see if he can get some luck there. Just check the comments there quickly. I think I've got Riaz saying 3-0 Villa. Okay, so he's actually a Villa fan. And then I've got Yasin saying 2-0 Villa. Okay, so that's 2-0 there. Okay. Going to United against Chelsea. Give me your thoughts.
I think United will at least try something. I think it'll be 1-1. 1-1.
Try what? Are they
Try
try
something.
to not defend? Are they going to try to defend? Try to attack?
1-1 draw.
1-1 draw. Okay, Zips, what you got for that game?
2-1 United.
2-1 United. Wow. Okay. That means Chelsea's not turning up. My prediction for that one: Chelsea home, right? Or
Chelsea at the Bridge. Yeah.
Chelsea at the Bridge. Slapping on the signboards. Yeah, I think it's a 2-2. Actually, I think somehow it's going to be a preamble to a Europa final, where I think it's going to be a draw. It's going to go to extra time. It's going to go to penalties, and we'll just keep shooting until some team gets tired. And then, then we go to Arsenal, Newcastle. You guys gave the first one, so I'll give this one. I'm thinking a 2-1 Arsenal. AF.
This is going to be a tough one. I think this is going to end up in a draw as well. I think it's going to be another 2-2 draw for this one.
Okay.
There's a lot on the line for both teams. I think both are going to be trying their best. Yeah.
Okay. Zips?
1-0.
1-0.
Yep.
Can I put you on the spot? Do you think Isak scores?
Yeah, probably a penalty.
He's been off the burn a bit, eh? Jacob Murphy is the guy that you guys.
Yeah, actually, Jacob. I don't understand it, right? I don't think he's going to be a Barclays Premier League journeyman, but this purple patch is like it's an extended patch of grass, man. This is
but Murphy is actually a journeyman already. Like he's just in the right spot at the right time now. But he's like, I think he's almost 30.
Yeah,
multiple different clubs. I think it was at Norwich.
I don't think he's ever had this prolific a season. When you think about
this is his best season ever.
Yeah. So yeah, okay. So we got 1-1. I've got a 2-1. You said a 2-2 draw, eh?
2-2 draw, yeah.
2-2 draw. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Let's just look at some comments there. We got 2-2 draw. That seems like the common theme for all the games. 2-2 draw. What is Austin saying? 2-2 Chelsea and United. Hate to say it. I've got a 2-1 United there from Riaz.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that Sunderland against Sheffield United for next week? I don't know. Nobody knows who Riaz supports, so we'll just put it all out there. Yeah. Are we going to touch on the final now, or we can do it next week?
No. The final is this weekend, Saturday.
FA Cup. Sorry, I'm thinking so. Man United Spurs, because I think it's like everyone's going to the circus, but we're actually going to Wembley first.
We have to give Palace their flowers, man.
100%. Oliver Glasner, great season.
Started off a bit iffy. He was odds on to be the first manager to be sacked
Yeah,
back
and
in September.
you heard it here first because I think we said you were going to get sacked.
Yeah.
I think when we said who's the first one to get sacked.
Yeah, but
and
then even when the odds came out, like
Yeah.
the week of that episode, the odds came out and he was like top of that list,
yeah,
like to the first manager to be sacked. But I mean, guys, he's put his head down and he's worked his socks off.
yeah,
He's gotten his team back to where he wants him to be.
yeah,
Mateta started firing again. Eze started firing again.
yeah,
Unfortunately, he lost Thiago Chalobah going back to Chelsea
yeah,
after losing Joachim Anderson at the starting of the season.
yeah.
So he's had to like rally his troops a bit and stuff like that. But I mean, he's done a really great job. And I mean, to cap it off with a FA Cup final appearance is really good stuff.
It would be crazy to see, right? Because I don't think I can recall the last time they were in a final. When was the last time they actually won something? So for a club like Palace, South London boys, we'd absolutely love it.
I think
But
the
if,
last time Palace were in a FA Cup final was when Ian Wright was playing for Palace,
my
Wow.
goodness.
and they lost.
And yeah, that's some fun facts. Ian Wright did play for Crystal Palace. He wasn't just at Arsenal. So that's trivia that you won't get in a chappies. For City, Ziyaad, is it like, they get the FA Cup, and not that Pep's going to be leaving, but with everything that's been surrounding them this season, the form that they've shown, the injuries that they've had to battle with, to make an FA Cup final, are we saying that it's a good season for them, or are we saying that they underperformed and they only got to an FA Cup final?
Depends if they win, right?
Mm.
If they win, then it was great, and if they don't win, then yeah, it's normally that basic, or that's how people make it out to be.
Yeah. No, that's fair. But yeah, so what are we thinking then? Because we've seen KDB come in. Are we going to see the ultimate performance from KDB, maybe rolling back the years and putting Crystal Palace to the sword? Or is it like basically going to be Eze's time to shine and put himself in the market to actually get a move away from Crystal Palace at the end of the season?
Look, I don't think there's anybody on the stream or anybody that follows us or anybody that's been involved in this at any point that wants City to win. I think literally everybody is going with Palace. Yeah, because City is a team you love to hate, right? They
Yeah.
can turn it on. I don't
Yeah.
think that they will. If they do win, it's going to be a tough one for them, because Palace have the energy. They got the players in form at the right time.
Yeah.
And I mean, Eze has done enough to be in the window. I don't think he needs this to do anything,
Yeah.
or to cement, anything. I think he's already set himself up there. Mateta as well, a couple of goals, like you say, could push him over the line. Adam Morton, the midfielder, is fantastic. He's only
Yeah.
21. And there's a couple of other guys, you could be looking at. I think Palace's right back is a Joel Ward. He said that he's
Yeah.
going to be leaving the club after, I think he's
Yeah,
been there for 14
He's been there
or
for
15
8
years. So,
Leaving on the
everything
street.
is leaning
Good.
towards Palace.
Yeah.
And I think Mark, he stayed at Palace, right? He didn't leave to Newcastle.
Yeah.
Even though it seemed like he wanted to go. So, I mean,
Yeah.
the storylines are amazing for Palace to actually go out and win this. And I think do it. They played really well over the weekend, especially on the counter. So if things go the way that we've seen City games go, where City have all the ball, it might actually suit Palace to go out and counter Ismail Assar, Eze, Mateta. These guys have pace, and City just don't have the defense that they used to have.
Yeah, I was thinking now, just as you're talking, in the recent encounter between the two, Oliver Glasgow said after the game, he said that if Pep plays the same way, they'll have answers for it and they will beat him.
Yeah.
So I think that definitely plays into both Pep's mind, but also Oliver Glasgow seems like he's up for it. And if I think back to, I'm not going to claim to watch a lot of when he was, I think he was at Eintracht Frankfurt, but when you caught a bit of the Europa League highlights, there were always a team that were up for it. So yeah, I'm gonna ignore the comment for now, but I'm talking about Crystal Palace. But yeah, I'd say that Crystal Palace have everything to play for. They've got nothing to lose. It's the first time they're going to Wembley for final for I'm not even sure how many years. And they should just go at City. I think the teams that have gone at City and actually put the pressure on them are the teams that cause City the most problems. They are error prone, and they haven't looked as consistent this season. So it's probably the best time to play City. So AF thoughts.
And then also with Highland coming back from this injury, like I don't know how much of the match you guys watched over the weekend against Southampton, but he just looked completely off it.
Yeah.
And then somebody like Umar Mamouche, who's been playing all the games in his absence, he was on the bench. He came on within a minute of him being on. He hit the crossbar.
Okay, yeah. I
saw
that. Yeah.
I mean, it's small things like that. If Mamouche starts the weekend, I think City have a really good chance of winning this thing.
Okay.
I think Ireland's still trying to find his match fitness.
Yeah.
You could have like an amazing moment.
Yeah.
Like to score an amazing goal, but I still think that he's trying to find his match fitness in this moment.
Yeah.
I want to check your Inzi. Wait, I have to Inzi. It's all good. I'm very happy for you to make comments, but please make sure you hit the subscribe button. Like
please, man.
if you're gonna come and drop comments like this, then at least be a subscriber and like it, man. Otherwise, you can leave. But we appreciate you.
That's fair. I think the best possible time for any team to play City is this team. They seem a bit dysfunctional at the moment.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about the fact that they struggled a bit. They pumped in 200 million in January. And the form has basically been somewhat similar, if not teams just faltering around them. So AF, pick out a key battle for us in this game. Where's the match going to be won or lost? And
I think a key battle would probably be around about the right back spot, or City's right back spot, because they have Nunes over there, Matheus Nunes.
Yeah.
He's shown his sort of how can I say, like every single time there's one or two moments that he'll basically slip up. There's somebody that can sort of take advantage of that. Eze is playing up against him. I think that is the one that everybody's going to be looking at. And Eze probably knows that. He probably knows that the guy has a mistake or two in him. I can try to get around that. I think that's one that could dictate the match also.
That's fair. Ziyaad, City's midfield very dysfunctional. Not sure who might start, but do you think that's probably the reason, or not the reason, but is that an area that Crystal Palace could target? Just getting a lot of runs through that central area, as opposed to maybe the wings.
Yeah, I mean, with City, I think Rodri is fit again, right? He's playing.
Drugs,
obviously got KDB.
This guy comes back at steroids. He says he's eating potato.
Who knows with these guys? But I think I don't think they're gonna cut City open through the center. I think that if they are gonna agree with what AF's saying, it's gonna be on the flanks where they're really gonna cut them open. And I think, as with finals, right, it starts with KG. Everyone's playing nice and tight, looking for the opposition to make errors. But if there's someone said Palace should be aggressive, I think it was Yasin. If there's a nice early goal from either team, it would open the game up, and that would actually make a bit more of a spectacle for us. And an open game will definitely suit Palace more. So if early goal, I mean, from a neutral perspective, if City score early, it could actually make the game way more interesting and probably give Palace a good chance as well to be able to come back. But I think through the middle, City should be okay. But again, if they have a lot of possession and they get drawn forward, and the central defenders of City are kind of on the halfway line, then I think Palace have a chance, because they can then easily go through the middle with Mateta's pace and strength, right? And turn those defenders around, make them run backwards. Then they have a chance through the middle. But I agree with AF. It's going to be more on the flanks.
Yeah, and Mateta has a knack for doing that. He has a knack for bullying defenders. And sort of like scaring them a bit. I think they sort of like try to step off him a bit.
It's when they see the scrum cap. If they see this guy, he looks like they've wrapped up a boiled egg, right? They've put a little thing on his head, and he's just ready to play. And I think he's played himself into a very rich vein of form this season. I remember when he first came, the guy looked lanky, looked like he was all out of sorts. He couldn't finish. And then suddenly you just hit this vein and it's going. And it coincided with Eze doing well. And then we'd left Crystal Palace at last. Olise left last season, but those three had a perfect link up. And I think they figured something out with Saw. I think the key is, whilst Eze might start in the wing, I think his best position is occupying little spaces in that central area. So occupying that, playing against maybe a Gundogan if he's in there, or a Kovacic that's having to cover Nunes, who's gone on the overlap or something. I think that's where they really target him. And if you're quick enough, you're able to expose City's defense.
Yeah.
I think all the teams that have put City to the sword have done that very quickly. So, yeah, I think Crystal Palace are up for it. And I think the key battles, despite all of it being laid out now, it also just comes down to, okay, City's been in many finals.
Yeah.
So even if we highlight all of these things and we say Palace have to go for it, there's also a certain level of, okay, we've been here before, so we know how to manage the day. We know how to manage the occasion, where I'm hoping Crystal Palace don't, like deer in headlights, basically, and just fall at it at that point.
Is this 3 FA Cup finals in a row for City? They won the one when they won the treble, and then last season was against United when they lost.
And then
now this season, three in a row. Yeah.
3 in a row, yeah. So yeah, they've been up and down, and I mean, I would have loved for Man United to play them again. I think they would have had something for them somehow. I don't know how it's possible.
Like Riaz says, United have a knack of winning a final that they absolutely shouldn't.
Yeah. So, again, that's probably his reverse psychology.
You never know with him, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. So let's just pull up some of the predictions there before we give our own. We go in there. So Yasin and the other Yasin says Palace win. We've got Riaz Parker saying 3-2 Palace. Yasin 4-1 Palace. What do we have here? Jared Davids 2-1 Palace. Okay, we've got another comment from Yasin there. What is he saying? KDB is done, right? Palace should be aggressive, and he said KDB is done. Okay, that was earliest things. And then no, I'm not rattled. I support Crystal Palace, Ramiz. Jeez, I'm all in. So I'll start us off with predictions. I think it is going to be KG. I think it's an extra time game. I think it's 1-1, and then I think Palace nick it in extra time just for the spectacle of it all. AF?
I don't think it goes to extra time. I think Palace win it in regular time. I'm going with a 2-1 Palace, but in regular time.
Okay. Zips, take us home.
Yo, bro, I do not smack extra time at all. They must just finish it. But I mean, I think City win. I don't want them to win, but
is it City like when they played Watford? Watford were very up for it, and City put 6 past them. It's not like that, is it?
Nah, I think it's 1-0 and City on penalties, something along those lines.
Okay. So it goes to extra time, even though you're not wanting it. And if at any time you want to switch off and put on the PJ Championship, I will allow it. Okay, so do that.
It's definitely gonna be on, but I'm not gonna
that.
He's probably gonna watch the golf and then put the soccer on like a small screen or something like that.
For the FA Cup final, I'll just look at the comments in the groups.
That's probably the safest thing to do, isn't it?
I think almost every person is probably going to be watching that game.
Yeah.
So that City doesn't win.
There's one friend of mine, right? And she supported City, or supports City rather. And as soon as City went out of the Championship, she started supporting Inter. I said, there's glory hoppers, my bro. They just like, if it's not the one team, then they jump to the next.
Yeah.
So if you are a Man City fan and you are in the comments, then I'm not going to apologize for what I said. Okay, but do like us, do subscribe, and maybe we'll have you on if you win the FA Cup, of course. But that wraps up episode 117 in this new format. I'm not sure if next week is the same, but we'll just keep things fresh. We'll keep things entertaining and surprising. Maybe next week Ziyaad's here and I'm where he is. Who knows?
Do you know something?
I think I think there's more chance that Riaz comes out of that door at the back there.
Riaz, if there's ever a time for you to make a late run, now's the time, my friend. And no, not happening. So yeah, thanks everybody in the comments. Sadiq, if I check now and you're not subscribed, bruh, I know where you live, my bro. I know your parents. I'll pimp you that you're lying here online. So thanks for all the comments. Thanks for all the interaction. We do appreciate it.
But yeah, also let us know in the comments, like, do you guys like this format? Do you guys prefer us when we all man alone in our little squares on the screen? Yeah, like we'd like to get everybody's feedback on that as well.
AF's a great host. We made hot chocolate before the show, so I might actually be here, even if there's no recording, just because there's always hot chocolate here. So that might be it. Winter is coming. But yeah, I don't know if he can. Unless Sadiq can organize a new door for AF, then I don't think he's gonna try and do that. But yeah, Zips, where can the people find you? Are you gonna be back in the motherland soon?
The usual spots. And you can catch me online, guys. Catch me online. Come on,
Okay.
Blue Sky. Yeah, we're still keeping up all the sports updates going. A lot of things happening. Past couple of days, we're actually really busy with world sport. You know, there was some good golf stuff that came up. Obviously, over the weekend, going to the PGA. The NBA playoffs are epic at the moment. A lot of upsets. A lot of tight matches. A lot of good players. Cricket, obviously, there was a bit of a pause in the IPL, but it's back on, and we got the World Test Championship coming up. So yeah, a lot of things happening in sports. So come chat to us on our social media channels.
That's fair. AF, same old, same old.
Same old, same old. Just to echo Ziyaad stuff, yeah, like there's a lot of news that we are putting on our socials. So yeah, definitely try and come and support us over there, like communicate with us, interact with us, show us some love on all of the social platforms, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, Twitter. We're doing updates on all of them. But yeah, like out of everything that he mentioned, I'm most in tune with the NBA, and yeah, it's the OKC Denver Nuggets matchups are insane. Like, yo, like we should really have like an NBA like playoffs or finals show or something like that. Can like do an
That
update
show's
of
gonna
that.
Yeah,
start at 2 a.m.
let us know if any of you want to know more about these sports. The interesting thing also is that with the American ownership coming into the Premier League, right? A lot of the clubs that we support are owned by companies or ownership groups that also own teams that play in the NBA, in Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
You know, so if you want to know more about that, this is the place where you can find that all out.
Yeah, like the Denver Broncos playing at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Yeah.
Probably the most
Tottenham's all about the
happening
NFL.
there at that stadium, yeah. Tottenham trying to make up that money, man. I think they're only going to make 11 mil from league position. So yeah, they have to sell out their stadium, hiring it for weddings or so next, probably like Barca did.
So is that where you're getting married?
At Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, bruh. That's if I ever were to do it now, then you know somebody's holding me hostage and it's a arranged marriage. Because I'll never do it. I'd rather stay single all my life. Yeah, I'm at Jason_Ronnie. We are at Sportycast on all platforms. Like we said, we appreciate all the love, we appreciate all the support. And yeah, we'll be pushing out a few more interesting bits of content in the next few weeks. So please keep subscribed, click that notification button to know when we're doing this every Wednesday. If you don't know by now, and I'm pointing at Sadiq again because you always come halfway through the stream, I will roll you, my bro. Like, I don't care if you run marathons, I'll chase you and I'll fang you. So yeah, appreciate the love, appreciate the support, and we'll catch you again next week. Peace.